What's packing, everybody? It's your boy, God Child, first of his name, back with another video for y'all today. Part 2 of the Green Bay Packers 2021 schedule breakdown. Let's jump right into it. We stopped off at week 9, and that's what we're going to pick up. The Packers travel to Kansas City to face the two-time AFC champion Chiefs with Mahomes and that whole track field that they got at the skill position. It's going to be fireworks, I think. Packers and Chiefs has played since Mahomes has been the quarterback there, but Mahomes has always been hurt, so we've never seen Rodgers, Mahomes sort of on the field dueling it out like we've all wanted to see. And who knows, we might not see it this year. If Rodgers gets traded, it could be Jordan Love, it could be Blake Bortles, but regardless, Kansas City, Green Bay, that is a marquee matchup of two juggernauts going at it, and I think that's going to be a great game. Then we got week 10 coming up next against the Seattle Seahawks back at home in Lambeau. Green Bay used to have a problem with the Seattle Seahawks back in the Legion of Boom days, but since Legion of Boom has been dismantled, okay, Green Bay has pretty much been able to handle Seattle, so I'm not really worried about this game, but it should be a good matchup, and it should be a great opportunity for Jair Alexander to put himself yet again on display to prove that he is the best cornerback in football, because DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, that is an explosive combination of receivers. And who knows, maybe the new kid, Eric Stokes, will be starting, and he'll be locking it down too. And this Green Bay Packers defense will just be, impressive. The best secondary in football. Maybe this year, Green Bay Packers. Let's see. Week 11, Green Bay will travel to Minnesota to face their arch rivals, the Minnesota Vikings, at the 1 o'clock spot. If you're on the East Coast like myself, first meeting against the Vikings this year, kind of late in the year, but hey, the NFL, as of recently, have been putting a lot of these divisional games in the second half of the season, and I love it because it makes for more drama. It makes it for more meaningful each game, more meaningful than it already is, because those playoff spots are so precious. And I know they just added 2 more last year, but they're still very, very precious, because you win, if you get in, anything can happen, man. So that's going to be a good game facing off against Minnesota, which I think could actually take a step forward this year, but we'll see. That defense, their secondary is trash, but the offense is super legit. After that, week 12, Green Bay is back at home. They have the Los Angeles Rams in Lambeau yet again for a rematch of the divisional playoffs from last year. Green Bay, they did their thing against the Rams. Wasn't as big a blowout as it could have been, or an offensive showcase that I feel like it should have been, with the Rams having some key injuries at quarterback and Aaron Donald not being at 100%. But I still think the Packers are a better team, even though the Rams now have an upgrade at quarterback with Matthew Stafford, a familiar foe for the Packers. I do think this Rams team is going to be better with Stafford than they were with Goff, but I still believe Green Bay is a better team, and they'll be able to take to do what they got to do. All right, give you a little preview, I guess, of the wins and loss breakdown. I think they beat Los Angeles. Okay, then we got the bye week in week 13. And let me say this right quick. Having a week 13 bye is crucial. And I'm really, really glad to see the Packers with a late season bye. Last year in 2020, they had a really early bye. I want to say it was week 4 or week 6 or some shit like that. Week 5. It was one of those weeks. They really weren't injured or nothing like that, so it didn't really benefit them. Then they started having some injuries kind of later on in the season, even though it still wasn't really that much, which I'm really happy to see that this team has gone from being one of the most injured teams in the league every year to being one of the most healthiest teams in the league every year. And I don't know what LaFleur is doing differently than McCarthy, but it's working. But in a season where you're going to be playing more games than you ever played before, I feel like players just one game can add so much fatigue to their bodies. Having a late bye in week 13 is very, very advantageous for the Packers. But, however, week 14 against the Bears at home, Sunday Night Football, the game everybody's going to be watching. Rookie sensation, Justin Fields maybe taking over the league. Who knows? But I do know the Packers have struggled coming out the bye under Matt LaFleur. In fact, since LaFleur's been the head coach, they've never won a game after a bye week. So I don't really have I'm not too confident about this particular matchup either, because I think the Bears are going to be a really good team this year, especially with Fields and the other additions that they had on offense. But we're going to find out, okay? We will find out just how good the Bears have gotten, and we're going to find out if the Packers are still the most dominant team in the NFC North. Week 15, back on the road, going to Baltimore, Maryland, to face the Baltimore Ravens. And this is going to be this is going to be probably their biggest test, maybe offensively, aside of the Cardinals, because I think the Ravens and the Cardinals are very unique in the sense that, and maybe even San Francisco with Trey Lance, who knows if he's starting by week 3, but specifically the Ravens and the Cardinals, they have the two most dynamic, electrifying players in the NFL at the quarterback position in Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson. Now, Lamar took a step back as a passer last year, and he even took a little bit of a step back as a runner because it seemed as if the Ravens offensive coordinator didn't use or implement the same sort of game plan that they did in 2019 when Lamar was MVP. Now, who's to say whether they're going to go back to the 2019 version of themselves or if they're going to continue to look like their 2020 version? But either way, this team is physical in the trenches on the offense and defense. They love to run the ball, and Lamar Jackson is special. He's a special athlete. So I think this is going to be one of those games that are going to provide a unique challenge for the Packers. And down the stretch, as you're making that playoff push, this is the kind of game that you're going to want to win to show yourself approved. Okay, week 16, we got a game back at home in Lambeau versus the Cleveland Browns. And now I know what I just said about the Ravens being a very tough litmus test kind of a team, but I think the Browns could even prove to be even a bigger test than the Ravens did, because last season the Browns were the number 1 rushing team in football. I don't see that changing really much. You know what I mean? They might drop down a slot or two, but I see them still being a top 3 rushing team in football. They've got 2 amazing running backs in Chubb, who was probably the only running back that I think is more underrated than Aaron Jones is Nick Chubb. Okay, Nick Chubb is, I would put him in my top 3. And then you got Kareem Hunt. If he never had that situation in Kansas City, he'd still be in Kansas City and he'd still be going off for them. So they got that 1-2 punch. They got the best offensive line of football, probably the only O-line that's better than Green Bay. They got Odell, they got Juice, they got Njoku, they got Baker, they got weapons all over the field. They got defense. Okay, this is a team that everyone's predicting, or a lot of people think, can make another playoff push, and they can even maybe challenge the Chiefs or challenge a team like Buffalo or whomever it could be, the Patriots. Maybe they come back to formation this year. So a lot of people are high on the Browns. I am kind of too, honestly. It seemed like Baker really grew a lot under Stefanski, and I think Baker is going to grow again this year, and this is going to be another physical, tough, smash-mouth team that traditionally has given the Packers problems. So we're going to see if the Packers got their shit together in 2021. Week 17, we got back-to-back home games. Okay, taking on the Vikings for the last primetime game of the season on Sunday Night Football. Man, the Packers got 3 Sunday night games this year: San Francisco, Chicago, and Minnesota. That's pretty dope. I've already pretty much said what I had to say about Minnesota, so let's just jump right to the last week, week 18 against the Lions. And look, I don't got the Lions putting up much of a fight this year. I think they're going to be the worst team in the NFC North, so maybe Green Bay has things sewed up. Maybe they win a bunch of games and they don't got shit to play for in week 18, but I don't ever like just allowing your divisional rivals to kind of get a cakewalk win against you, or to set a precedence of just not going all out within the division. So even if Green Bay doesn't have much to play for, I hope that they do play for the win here in Detroit for the last game of the season. All right, guys and girls and whoever else is out there watching, that's it for the breakdown. Now, I want to go and do wins and losses and give my prediction for the final record the Packers might have in 2021. I think this team will win 13 games this year. Yes, that's 3 straight seasons of 13 wins. I don't know if that's ever been done in NFL history before. That would definitely be an incredible feat for LaFleur and this organization. But if they win 13 games, that means they got to lose 4. And these are the 4 games that I think they could lose. Okay? September 12th, opening day in New Orleans. It's a place that Green Bay has struggled to play. I know, like I said, they won there last year, but that team wasn't at full strength. And this is going to be we could maybe see new wrinkles. There could be new things that we've never even seen before from this team because they don't have Drew Brees. They got Hill and they got Jameis Winston now. So I think that team is one of the most talented teams in the league, top to bottom of that roster. They're going to be at home. It's opening day. We don't really play well in New Orleans, so I got them taking an L in New Orleans. Then I think they could also take an L week 3 against San Francisco. Once again, they beat them last year, but San Francisco wasn't nowhere near their final form. So if the Packers played them again this year at full strength, last time they played them at full strength, they got dog walked in the NFC Championship game, and it's hard to erase that memory. So you can play them. If you beat them at full strength, I will have a whole lot of respect for this team, but until I see it, I won't believe it. So I got them taking an L in week 3 against the San Francisco 49ers. And then week 9 against Kansas City, another team that they beat, not at full strength. You beat Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and Kelsey and all of them at full strength. You get all my respect, but until I see you do it, I don't believe it. So I got them taking their 3rd loss of the season, week 9, on the road versus Kansas City. And notice, all these losses on the road so far. Green Bay has typically been a really good home team in recent years and really throughout Aaron Rodgers' career. So, and I see that continuing. They don't lose much at home. All right. So all these losses on the road. And the last loss of the season will be the only loss that they take at home all season long against Chicago on Sunday Night Football in prime time. And as much as it pains me to say this, as much as it pains me to admit that the Packers have not won a single game coming off a bye week under Matt LaFleur, it is the truth. And history, as they say, tends to repeat itself. And so until I see them win a game coming off a bye week under Matt LaFleur, I'm not going to assume that they win. So, yeah, there they go, taking an L against their most heated division rival, the oldest rivalry in sports, Chicago Bears, the new look Bears, led by Justin Fields, rookie sensation, coming out of Ohio State. All right, so those are the 4 losses, man. Couple of marquee ones, some ones that's probably gonna hurt as a fan, some other ones, but all the W's. I mean, if they only lose 4 games, and these are the 4 games they lose, and they win all the other games, I really believe this team is gonna make it to the Super Bowl. Let me guys know what you think in the comments below. What do you predict the Packers will go this year? Which do you think will be the hardest games? And do you believe that Green Bay should be a favorite to win the Super Bowl this year? All right. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the notification bell and give this video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. If you want to catch the show live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 p.m. to 12, head over to twitch.tv/GodChildTV, GDCHYLD, 7 letters. Go ahead and hit that follow button. And you can catch me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday live on twitch.tv. To the next show, you know it's Go Pack Go. And remember, the Bears still suck. Peace!
Puda, you the GOAT, boy.